What's good? Clay here. Just driving back from a function tonight, Salt Lake. Friday, July. I don't even know what day it is. Sometime in July. It's got to be like around the 8th or something. 10th. I think it's July 10th. But figured I'd make my daily post because I haven't filmed anything yet today. But I want to share just some thoughts from a cool meeting that I went to yesterday. It was a meeting with a couple guys from something called PROD, P-R-O-D. I don't know what it stands for. But this was a meeting with a bunch of the applied math majors, the ACME majors at BYU. I'm not that. I'm a mechanical engineering major, but I heard about it from some friends. And I decided to pull up, and it was really, really cool. So the first guy that spoke, his name is Isaac Clayton, and he is a young guy, graduated from MIT, and he is big into this one company right now called Flapping Airplanes. I guess it's a startup, and they're doing something, trying to revolutionize something within AI and the way they train LLMs and stuff. And this other guy there, Sam Layton, was cool too. He was like the guy from PROD, and PROD is like this group out of Stanford where these Stanford students and graduates come together and they just, work on these startup companies. And he started out explaining kind of how PROD came about, and I really liked it. But basically, whoever was starting this thing, they were noticing that all of these guys, these people were going through MIT and Stanford and some of these like top schools, some of the country's brightest minds, and they were all following just like a similar pipeline. They would, get some degree, go work for some, data science job, or I don't know. He was explaining like they're all just doing this one thing. It's kind of like the least effort path, doesn't use any creativity, no innovation, like basically explaining that like these really sharp, smart, bright guys and girls were kind of, putting some of their talent that they have, some of their ability to waste because they're just, going through the motions of this pipeline, not using their creativity to really have a big impact on the world, right? Making the markets more efficient is what he was saying. And so that's kind of how PROD started, and they've got some really cool companies over the last 5 years that they've existed. In their second year, Cursor came out of PROD, which is a big company and was sold to someone with AI and coding and that kind of thing. And then he kind of tied it back into BYU and how he wants to do something similar at BYU, and I really liked it. But a lot of these successful companies have come out of PROD, and he always asks them like why they try so hard, why they work so hard, why they have all this ambition, right? And when he's asking these people, they don't know why they try so hard. They don't know why they do it, why they work. And then he said, being around BYU, which is where he got his undergrad, and he went to Stanford for his master's. He said at BYU, like he talks to people and they know why they try so hard, and it's a lot to do with their belief in God, in Jesus Christ, and eternal families, and that kind of thing. And he was saying, as he's working with these graduates from Stanford and MIT, he's come to the realization that they're just like the BYU kids. Like they're just kids. Like, yeah, they go to great school, they're smart guys, but he said like the people he meets at BYU, they're just as smart, they're just as driven, they have just as much ambition. And he wants to see us at BYU, put those gifts that we've been given to blessing the world and changing the world. And he says that, he sees a lot of people going through this pipeline of get your degree, you get a fine job in like whatever it's good, but you're not really using your creativity, you're not really innovating, you're not really changing the world or blessing the world in a big impactful way that we have the potential to. And he says, and he was talking about how he thinks it would be so meaningful, and he loves thinking about how if BYU students were to take that initiative and start to be leading, founders and building companies on the frontier of tech and all of these AI industries, engineering industries that are growing so much right now. Like if these guys, if us, if we can be there, if we can do that, we also know our purpose. We know why we're here. We know why we work so hard. We know why we do that. We're doing it for Jesus Christ. We know of his gospel, and we want to build Zion as we prepare for his second coming. And I just thought that was so cool. And I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I've always just thought that'd be really, really awesome, exciting, and I would love it. I'd love to be able to have an influence on other people's lives in that way. And I think I've been not setting my sights high enough. And he was talking about this, like, he says, yeah, it's great to be like an entrepreneur, and like, you could go out and you could start the next crumble cookie, you could start the next shoe company or something like that. But he said that we should just shoot our shots, like set our sights higher than that, right? Like, it's great to have another crumble cookie, but the world doesn't really need that. Like, we need to go into the frontier of what's happening in the tech industries, in AI and energy, and some of these things that really have a really big impact, or have the potential to have a really big impact on humanity as a whole. And so, like, yeah, I could earn a lot of money being an entrepreneur, starting the next restaurant or some products, I don't know, some gadget or gizmo or whatever. But it's kind of shifted my perspective that I want to be part of something bigger. I want to set my sights higher and really have a part in building Zion and making the world a better place, being a leader in the world in that area. And I think I have what it takes to be up there and create things and build things. This is all been a jumble of words. I'm trying to explain it as well as he did, but I'm not that good at talking yet. But I'm gonna start dreaming bigger. So that's what I learned from that meeting. Start working harder. And I think my last video was me saying I want to earn $10,000 from a company. And yeah, I'm still gonna do that. I still got my goal is to do that $10,000 by the end of the year. And it's probably not going to be in the frontier of some new tech industry, right? I've got a couple side hustles working, but I'm learning how to work with people. I'm learning what it takes to start a business. I'm learning what it takes to create and build. And so I'm going to stick with that, but it's not my end goal. Like, if, I make a company that's like, I don't know, some great, self-improvement app or something, I don't want to spend the rest of my life, as an app developer making these silly apps, but I want to be out there leading the world and what's really going to have a big impact, like Elon Musk is right now, like some of these guys at Prod. So those are end goals. I really, really, really want to work in like robotics, particularly with AI coming to robotics, and what that's going to look like as AI kind of starts to enter the physical world and be able to provide labor, like physical labor will have a huge impact and be a blessing for a lot of people around the world with poverty and just improving quality of life in all areas of the world and all areas of life. So that's one thing I think I'm going to start, looking heavily into and studying and researching on by myself. keep an eye out for some personal projects. I want to build like some kind of a robot involved with AI, just to learn what it takes. And I don't want to just build it just to build a personal project. I don't want to build it just for a resume, but I want to find something that I really want to bring to the world, something I think the world needs, and build it because of that reason. So anyway, that is my blurb of the day. So just follow along if you want to see this. Just kidding, you don't have to. This is my personal journal. And, dream big. Whoever you are out there, God has given you the talents and blessings and abilities that you have for a reason. So wherever you got your sights set right now, wherever you got your goals set right now, I just want to invite you to set them a little bit higher. You never know what's possible when you go for it and have the Lord on your side. All right, I'm out.